Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Chris. Waiting, Anna. Let this rose get down. Hey, Dragger. Hope everyone's well tonight.
Your repurposed freighter drifts through space. As you stare out at the star-flecked void, another ship comes in. Wait, is this sci-fi? I thought we agreed on a World War II campaign. Oh. Did we?
Hey, hey, hey.
That's cool. I can pivot.
You found
The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign. Alright, here's what we're doing. It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters. How did you do that? I have the right tools for the job.
Hey.
Hello.
How's your
Let's see
weekend?
here. Oh, good. No, that was the wrong. Is this? Hang on a second. 6 speaker. Now I can say something.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm just trying to figure out. Is the microphone good?
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, perfect.
I was. Yeah, good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Tim
There
will
we
try
go.
and get on tonight. He's not sure if he can. But,
Okay.
Story
Yep.
once
Yeah,
spoken
so-
is ageless.
Oh, you know what? Let me shout this out on Cannon Fire since this is where all this rigmarole started.
Without end.
Okay. Yeah.
Curious
Yeah.
are the ones most courageous. The tree that endures has to bend. From stillness, the
I
mad
need to
mage
log
is
into chat. I
stirring.
just talked to Troy a little
From
bit about
countless voices,
Photoshop
the
and
castle
stuff.
takes
Oh, cool.
shape.
Mhm.
Zagig will test the enduring. Those unlucky will never escape.
Okay. Alrighty. I think we're all good. Hey, old Imorph, Lord Forth. Good to see you.
Is it still hot over?
Oh yeah,
End of the
yeah.
world? Yeah.
It's humid.
Yeah,
So-
we have our usual heat, but it's dry heat.
That's
so we're good.
that's the good heat.
Yeah,
That's the good heat. So
we have 100 degrees and dry, but it's like 10% humidity, so it's okay. You stay indoors during the hot hours, and then you're good.
Rob, I'm just double checking. 2:30 to 6 for Saturday. I'll get you. It'll be your elementalist for Balchan speaking. Let me know. Been all over the place this weekend. So, all right, cool, man. You and Star will come in at that time. No rain. 0. No. Nothing where I am. It's been sunny all day. Nada. It's all good. It happens sometimes, and then other times it doesn't.
Well, I really like the new Gamescape 3D's logo. It looks really cool.
Yeah, he's really. I got 2 boxes from him today too, for Bulgent's Beacon. Yes.
Cool, and thank you for the badge for Virtual Greyhawk.
Yes, yes. We're gonna show that first.
Yep.
Oh
Having
crap!
that
I didn't
started
update the
to
shout
set
out.
up.
All right. Well, I didn't update the shout out. It's all right. It's because the badges, you can't buy badges yet. Badges is next Sunday, 6th.
Yep.
July 6th will start it. So
We just started to set up the convention. Yep.
Yeah, you, me, and Josh got badges. So.
Yep.
Yeah. But I'm going to, I think, reuse some art from year 1. So I want to get everyone's opinion on that. I'm gonna show that I changed the font, changed the lettering, because this is one that we didn't use enough. I don't think. I'll show that. Let's take a look. And it's been 5 years, so maybe. Alrighty. Maybe. Right. Yeah, we're gonna talk Knighthoods and defining them with classes. How's that sound? Or making an attempt to. And GREYHAWK.
Yep.
With other things too. It just Hey Keith. Patrick. Righty. A little early, but that's okay, right?
Yeah. The more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
Yep.
Gabbin next week's up in the air. I mean, just like I have no idea what we're gonna do because we're running a 24-hour stream the day before, so I may be like toast. But
That sounds like maybe we should skip.
well, let's just. Although
we'll
we may
see.
get it done in
something.
16, 18 hours, you know, and then it won't be a big deal. You know?
And you sleep 8 hours, and what
Yeah,
you do is
that'll be
that you go
fine.
on Twitch again. Yep.
I'll be joyous then from that, you know. So it's it's gonna be fun though. Oh, look at that! Wait a minute, I gotta hit this button here. Boom.
It's the usual getting stuff set up. Yep.
What's going on, everyone? Can you hear me clearly? I got Anna on tonight. Maybe Tim. Not sure.
Sit better this way. So there we go.
The effects of a lot of things here. So Classic D&D reprints tonight. Let me hit this up. Oh, I already did. My gosh, I actually threw out a full Yeti mug. I found it in the recycle bucket. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I threw out a Yeti mug with a lid on and everything.
It's like we get in that age, you walk through a door and you have no idea what the heck you were supposed to do. So
right, I backtracked everything. I'm like, where? Oh my god! I put it in the recycle bucket.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. So if you were not on Cannon Fire Monday, then you may not know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't on Cannon Fire. I haven't been on chat in Cannon Fire in a while, so I need to come more often.
yeah,
Yep.
it was no drinking. I barely drink anymore. What's up, Curtis? I
Hello.
rarely drink. Curtis was on a little bit. First things first, since we got run early. Here we go. Badges start opening July 6th, okay? For Virtual GrowCon, and then you can immediately put in events. Yeah, that's just June 30th. Oh, you know why? Because I'm in the wrong year. See? Duh. Oh my
You're
God.
in the 23.
Yeah, here's 25. So yeah. July 6th, August 30th, event registration begins, but you can put in events immediately. So it's talking about this, and it's like $5, guys, plus like a nominal fee. It's like $6.12 or something crazy. So we're getting ready to rock and roll this. Now, I was thinking, I have a lot of health stuff going on, and the hip is coming in August. I just don't know if I have time. I even talked to Josh Pop about this. So I think I'm going to reuse the first artwork we ever had, and that's the one I got the art piece on. And I just put Darlene's logo up, wording up there. Return to GREYHAWK, because there's GREYHAWKs in the book now and all. Maybe we can try and get some new people excited about GREYHAWK. And what a better! I mean, this is like iconic. This picture here, we barely used it that first year.
What we should do, we should recolorize it.
Oh, you want to recolorize it? Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
I think we should use the same one and recolorize it.
All right. So I'll send you over the file.
All
right.
And
so
I can recolorize it so we can make it stone. Instead of having it red, we can either do another color theme, or we can do it more like natural color theme.
All right, cool.
I'll work on that.
Awesome. Well, there you go. That's a fantastic idea. Thank you,
that way
Anna.
It will be the same image, but a different version of it.
Fantastic. That's a great idea. All right. I will get that over to you. I'll put it in our Dropbox when we're done
then
here.
We'll work on it.
And if you want to mess around with you want to change up any fonts or anything, I trust you 100,000%.
Yeah, we start with a picture, and then we can we'll work on the rest of stuff.
Very cool. So yeah, it is. So I have the art piece down on the floor here.
It's an awesome piece, but if we wanted to use it for this, I think it works better with colorized than just pure black and white.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, and that piece, back in, and I have it. I'm glad I got it framed and all. That was the most expensive piece of art I've ever paid for.
But it is a great one.
It is, and that's why I think we should use it, because when we did Virtual GrowCon 2, it was still during COVID. And I tell you, most of you that are on now, with the exception of Patrick, Rob, I don't even think Curtis was just around. It just missed all the using this piece. So that's why I think we should reuse it. That was my idea, and it's a wonderful, wonderful piece. So so there you go.
We can bring some more life out of it.
Yeah, fantastic, great. I'll get that right over to you then tonight. So, and there you go. It's October 2nd to the 5th. We're all set. Just waiting for get registrations going. We'll start it next Sunday. Okay. And the site is up there. I will do a link to it too. It's on Tabletop Events, Virtual GrowCon 2025, Virtual GrowCon 6. So watch out for the toads and stuff. But you didn't look close enough though, Michael, at that picture. I'm putting it back up. Notice the eye, the ruins of the eye up over here. See it? It's hard to see. There, right there, the eye ruins banner right there. So, this is a return to look, and that dude's got an Order of York symbol on. Yeah, so it was really a cool set piece. Yep. So, Michael, I don't think you were around then either for that one too. So it's it'll almost be a new piece to a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's see. Let me put this down, and we'll continue to talk about that more and more and more. So, there was this fight going on. It wasn't a fight, but everyone was really like
Knights and Cavaliers. Then I guess a fight.
Cavaliers, yes, Knights and Cavaliers, and all sort and everyone is like talking about the knight class with Troll Games, which is really a guy on a horse. I'm sorry, Troll Lord, but that's all it is. It's a guy who attacks on a horse, which is and he gets a +1 to hit. I mean, really, unless Yeah,
and that's something I want to pick your brain on during this discussion.
Cool.
What kind of variables you're working with when you change, because you've done a whole bunch of these different fighting men classes, so to speak.
Whole bunch.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of curious because now when I'm designing Hawk Tales, I'm trying to figure out what dials variables I'm working with. So it will be very interesting to see what you. So that's something we can dissect piece by piece a little bit during the 2 hours that I want to figure out what are the things you switch up and down or change between the classes, so to speak. So yeah,
no problem. That should work. That Canifire Discord invite I just put in there, that should work. And then if you want the GREYHAWK events one for the con coming up, if you don't have that one, oh man, I got so many freaking because this new stream deck, I got shout outs all like. I moved them all. Oh shoot! I don't even know who I shot it. I don't even know who I just shouted out.
I was just going to say you should not change your deck there anymore. That's funny. Yeah.
Well, the old deck's downstairs now, and this one's much more stable.
Doesn't the new one come with little monitors that you can they actually show you a little screen? What it is.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. So if I come here, you see all the pictures of everyone. I can program it all in.
Yeah.
The other one does that too, and like their shout outs for all of me and stuff.
Yep.
You know, but so it's fun. It's fun. So here's a weird thing on this. If you ever thought that I would start with a non-GREYHAWK book, and in particular, Forgotten Realms books I pick from Ed all the time, right? But I'm not going to start there. I'm going to pull out this book, and we're going to start here.
Okay, the Dragonlance book. Okay.
The Dragonlance hardback book.
Yep.
Why am I have this in my hand, everyone? Let's see. Anyone know? Why?
I guess it has a class in there that you're interested in.
Kind of. It has 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has 3 classes. Does anyone know? Lost a bet. I don't even know what page
Knights
they're on.
galore.
The Knights of Solamnia, yes.
And
there's 3 factions in the Knights of Solamnia. So when we started years ago, before we started making the hybrid class, we took the Knights of Solamnia.
What do you mean by hybrid? Is that when you merge elements from one class with another one? So it's like a
it's almost like
it's like a multi-class in one class.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a huge prestige class.
Yeah, Pathfinder had that. Pathfinder 1 had a bunch of them. They were like a barbarian sorcerer mix. That was one class and stuff. So yeah,
and like Mage Thief was something. What was that called? That was another one too. I forget what that was another hybrid class. Kender Paladins. No, Patrick, I'm trying to quit. Thank you. So so here we're gonna go here, and just to start things off, so I don't have to have this up lot more than this. I mean, there are some decent things in Dragonlance. I mean, I love the moon phases. I think that's really cool. But like, here we go. So we're gonna go to page 16, and we're always trying to figure out ways to add extra classes in, and it just didn't make sense to us. Why? Here's the Knights of Solamnia, right? Why there's not a class that is the Knighthood itself? Well, there is in Dragonlance, right? The Knights of Solamnia is a class in the Dragonlance book. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we can incorporate this a little bit somehow. It did not go well to start with us, because there's three different. Oh, look at that PDF. It's bad. There's 3 different sects, SECTS, everyone, of the Knights. And the first one's the Knights of the Crown, right? And here are the Knights of the Crown table. And the Knights of the Crown table looks very similar to the Cavalier table. I think it's identical to the first the Dragon 72 experience point table. I'm almost positive. Right, and they don't have a lot of abilities, right? The Knights of the Crown don't. They're like fighters, really, just high-end fighters. Second one's Knights of the Sword. The second middle, and notice it's like level 3, so you jump from crown to sword. And then with that, they have, look at the spell list. Look at this.
Oh, so it comes with spells.
Yeah, a spell list. So and then here, and then
spell level, 7th level spells.
Yeah, at 15th, which is it's just quicker than a cleric gets. Yeah, it's insane. But their experience point table is way higher. It's just nuts.
Oh, got
and
you.
then the rose is the last. And at 4th level, you can jump to rose, but you don't have to. There's crown, you can crown, sword, rose. You can be any of them. You can see the mess that I'm getting myself into here with the players. And we made sky, stars, and heavens to start. I didn't like it. It was, like I said, we constantly play test. So yeah, cool, man. That's good. That's good. You got on that. It's a great Discord to get on, because you get to hear Sam tell wow, look at those horses. Holy jeez. Wow, that was funny there, Patrick. All those horse mouths. Holy jeez. I don't know what's going on with that, with the new thing that's going on there, that you can pump up stuff to combos. So have fun with them. All right. There, that's all you need to see for this book right now. Okay, we'll take it away. I know Sam's eyes are burning out right now with me having this book on here, but
see, but I must say that is some of the best RPG setting logos I've ever seen. It's so good. Dragonlance, that logo is so awesome. It's so beautiful. So I bet Elmore or easily or someone designed it, because it is gorgeous.
Elmore did a lot of work for Dragonlance. That was his bread and butter.
That logo is so damn cool. I'm like, wow. Yeah.
They did a really great job with that. So so there we go.
I also think that the top there, where you have Advanced Dungeons and Dragons like that, that's the most beautiful D&D logo.
It's clean.
D&D logo. Exactly, it's clean. I love that way of doing it.
Official
AD&D. Exactly. That's the way that was my favorite ever. Yep.
Yeah, and with that, I'm gonna say in their 90s to 2000s, we're running with those knight characters. It's not working. It just didn't work. I let some people switch from Cavalier Paladins over to them and stuff, and it's just...
Were they overpowered, underpowered, off theme, or what was the issue?
Overpowered. Overpowered.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially if you jumped all the way to the third one, which would be the heavens.
So in what meaning are they given? Are the attack bonuses and damages and stuff, is that too high?
No,
or
they were getting way too many proficiencies. They were getting the spell ability. Were getting it early.
So what are you aiming? What are you aiming for? Meaning, if you
there was no flavor to it. There was no GREYHAWK flavor to it at all.
Yeah.
And that is what I was missing. So that was what connection to GREYHAWK does that have? None. Right? It has no connection to GREYHAWK, and that's just in our class we're playing.
Yeah. So what kind of mechanics were you looking for, so to speak?
Good question.
Meaning that a standard fighter didn't have, or ranger or paladin.
So the special, I love the specialty priest, and when we come to this table here, and this is the one Casey a long time ago helped me make up with all the references here. And when you think of a knighthood, there's classes you think of, right? You think of paladin, right? You think of paladin, maybe cavalier if you're in the cavalier era. And what else? As far as that class. So, I mean, there's Elven Cavalier in here now, right? We have that. So you have these classes, but there's still a disconnect, right? Now, I know, like, the one thing about these oaths in 5th edition, it's kind of cool. And I don't know about 3rd, but in 1st edition, 2nd edition nails it with the flavor for GREYHAWK with specialty priests. But we're still missing flavor here. Complete. I'm missing it, right? I want the knighthood that I have, or whatever knighthood I'm using, to have something that they stand out with. Right? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, but I'm kind of curious if we can kind of come down to, because I'm guessing you're talking about mechanically here, because a class is like a collection of mechanics. Meaning they have these professions, they have these many pluses, bonuses, hit dice, spells.
Right, but that's how we do it. That's how I do it in my campaign with it.
Exactly, that's why I meant that that's what you're after. So what kind of, meaning what flavor are you after? Meaning, do they have, like, incorporate something from some other class? Are they sneaky, or are
That's
they
a good question.
meaning what kind of mechanics would fit that niche? Meaning, I can totally see you're looking for a concept, so to speak.
Yes.
Or something that fits a story or can,
me bring up a dungeon magazine, which I think you have seen before. Let me bring this one up, and then I think this will help. All right. So this is Dungeon 113. Hopefully this is the right one. Look at that nice big Tim. Tim had Tim's daughter had something happen with a friend, and so she may not be on. He may not be on. Yeah, it's kind of. Yeah. So maybe I got the wrong one. I hope I don't. I thought it was 113, where they have a Living Greyhawk section in the back. Yep.
Yeah, I forgot. Yep. Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
So, Rick, when this comes out, Valor is our blood. I'm thinking to myself now, they have taken the Order of the Holy Shielding. This is 3rd edition. Right? They've taken this, and me, I don't know anything about this because I don't play Living Greyhawk. So I get this dungeon. I'm like, well, this is cool. And then I notice these levels, which are their prestige class levels, right? And they have some abilities over here, and the code, and all, it shows you like, what each thing does. And I'm thinking to myself now, I can take that knight class that I had from Dragonlance, and I can merge it with this prestige class.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that mechanics in there are part mechanics. They are super specified and say, oh, if you do take this, you have this feat, you get plus on whatever circumstance. You get a +2 on something, +4, or you get a spell-like ability or something like that. But the other half of the oaths and stuff, that's more like a limitation. That means that your character have to operate within these parameters in one way, shape, or form of some
100%. So what happens now is, I see this and I'm thinking to myself, there's no reason I can't merge this and back this into 1E, 2E. I just got to figure out it's balanced. I got to make sure. This Dragon 113. This is from Living Greyhawk. This is 3rd edition.
Oh yeah, and this is what some of the best written on Shieldlands.
This is not Dragon 113. It's Dungeon 113.
Yeah.
It's in the dungeon. They put stuff in Dungeon magazine. And here's your code.
Yeah, they merged them together for a while there.
Yeah. So and that.
But would this, if you put this code in, that basically limits the character, say that the character can only do this, otherwise he will lose its status.
Like a paladin, exactly.
But that means that you can then give that class some extra cool benefits, like you have to operate within these limits, but instead you can be given some extra cool mechanics that are overpowered otherwise, so to speak.
Right. So with that, and I'm not gonna. We're gonna get there on everything. Let's go back to this. So, back in the day, what was like in my campaign? We're gonna talk 83 to 99. What is the class that most? Let's see what the audience says. That most people played, saying this is the prototypical. This is the class that is a class that belongs in Knighthood. That's it. What do you think in my game was the most prototypical class that it was Knighthood? And you got to be specific.
I think I know the answer to that one. We'll see if someone comes up.
That's funny, Moose. 83 to 99. No, Caesar. You get close. No, not Cavalier.
It was a special one that was in a Dragon magazine article made by someone.
Cavalier's on the right track. Phantom, you're close, but that's not. You got to be more specific. Paladin, what? Elven Cavalier is no blackguards existed. Paladin of what subclass? Death Knight. Yes. Remember, in Unearthed Arcana, they switch over Paladin to a different subclass. So we're talking Paladin subclass of Cavalier, right? Everyone's on the horse, and they got the banners, and they got the and they got the lance. So that's like, oh, those are your knights back in those days. So let's do this. Now, I absolutely despise this is all going to make sense, everyone. Trust me. I promise. I'm trying to answer all these questions that came up from that argument that went on for like hours on Cannon Fire. So let's do, let's go to Dragon 72. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at this. This is now this is so, Dr. Kane is so anticlimactic. We're going to just go to page 6. And this is a Gary Gygax article. All right. The Cavaliers here. All right. Chivalrous Cavalier. They take this, and they really just, whoever wrote it in Arcana, it just completely changed it. But I loved this article. I was so excited. So much so that we, for a long time, were running, you could do the Arcana version or this version. Mm-hmm. For Cavalier and Cavalier Paladin. But I really thought that the background on this was really good. And this is where I like, unfortunately, no, Jester. I know you guys are busting my stones. It's all right. I've gotten a lot of stone busting the whole weekend. It's fine.
That's a big part of the show.
It is, absolutely. You can bust them. So, yeah. It's like looking at your childhood. Well, I'm 16 at this time, right? This is 1983. I'm 16 years old. So my childhood, yes, 42 years ago. Horsemanship horsemanship and mounts, great pictures. Plate armor comes out, field plate and plate mails. You got, you always like, why doesn't I go to armor class 2? At the beginning, and then now you figure out now you got 1 and 0 there. So
you got the extra plates.
The top. Thanks for the WAP, Patrick, and my big head. That's thank you very much. There, that's awesome. So number 1. Who in the hell decides? Now, there's class level limits everywhere for elves and half elves. Every single class has a class level limit for them, except for thieves. Fighters, mages, clerics, doesn't matter. Who in the hell decides, well, half elves and elves now can be unlimited class in Cavalier?
That was probably because they started to use that as a house rule themselves. And then they just made it into the magazine. That's my guess.
I'm like, why the heck? But I smiled when I saw this back then because I'm like, I hated class level limits. Now I like class limits like Bard's 23rd, Assassin's 15th. That works, but not class with race. We figured a way to balance it. All right, so there you go. Die 10s and improving abilities, horsemanship and mounts. Oh, this is great for a knight. This is awesome, right? Saving throws, damage, followers, evil, Cavaliers, which...
Yeah. So now a quick question here.
Please ask.
When you start designing this...
Bill brings up something. Congrats on 1,000 for Patreon.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. We'll talk more about that at the end when we do shout-outs. Yeah. But when you start designing, is the general goal that you see Cavaliers and Knights, are they better fighters than fighters, or are they better at other things than the basic weaponry and stuff, so to speak? Where
That's
do you
a great
see
question.
them fall? Yeah.
They were, for a bit, they were, because this is the era of the single and double specialization, right, in Arcana. So fighters can single and double specialize. Well, so can Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And Cavaliers have other bonuses. So the answer to that is...
They can reach normal.
Yeah.
You aim for them to be slightly better at swordmanship or their special weapons, so to speak, than a fighter.
Yeah. So, but for a bit, but we've solved that with a couple, just a couple minor tweaks. For example, just giving the fighter the battle and demoralizing shout to straight class. I think negates all that because at 8th level they can get +2 on their attacks and anyone around them 10 feet, -2 for those. So I think it kind of is. They're pretty even. There's some advantages like the Saxon class that Bill really created.
So that big impact as they level up is probably that they have other special abilities rather than they add so much more into hit bonuses or damage bonuses there. Or where do you think the big impact difference will be?
Stat increase for Cavaliers is huge. So if you start out with 17, you're going to get to 1850 easily, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you get that built in the class that you add strength bonuses?
Yeah, and you get con increase, you get dex increase, and if you're a paladin cavalier, you get charisma increase. And Bill's right; they don't get the specialization till like fighters in ours can get single at first.
Yeah.
They don't. So they get it at they have to take lance. They get a specialization at 4th. Yeah. So they're actually behind the fighters to start, but then they get better.
But there you have an interesting class mechanic that you don't have in the regular classes, that you get ability bonus increases built into the class.
Yeah, well, it's one of the few that do that.
Yeah.
Cavaliers in the Saxon class in our game. Yep, absolutely. Yep. And it's a noted thing. So and you note we stopped it once you get to 10th, that's it. So you get 2 die 10 in those stats. If you average them out to 11 or 12, you're going to get a full point. Now, a lot of people, here was the trick that was happening. Say you had 16 strength. Well, you roll percentile dice to see where it starts at. And, I have 1699. So, I started, the highest you can start is 16/50. Right? On that, and you go up.
So you have percentage on the lower ones
all of
too?
them. Yeah.
Okay.
But that was a fudge roll. Everyone would go, I have 1693 to start at first level. And then
they all have to be 90 or,
So we started at /50 roll on stuff. Unless it was strength, unless you had rolled a high strength to start, All right. So look, they get 5 specializations, double specializations. Here's where, let me go over to here. And Curtis is going to agree with me on this. Look at that. I jumped through the roof when I saw Becta Corbin on here. So, the Becta Corbin was a status weapon of the Order of Ulick in the early 80s. So that was another thing. It was not a great weapon to fight with, but everyone had one. Every Cavalier, a Cavalier Paladin, had Becta Corbin as proficiency. Because that was so we're starting to bring first flavor, the Becta Corbin, right? Why? It didn't matter. It's what we did. But there's options here for other sorts of flavor you can add in. All sorts of things. There's bow specialization. There's crossbow specialization. There's all sorts of things you can add into this Cavalier. The Cavalier is a good start. Horsemanship is the best thing about the Cavalier. Also, and you all know how much I love the jousting every year, Cavaliers are the best jousters by far. They get a lot of ability bonuses over regular classes with jousting. So, yeah. Becta Corbin translate to Crow's Beak. Yep. Yes, you're +2 from Pool of Radiance. So, I wonder if Arj ever thought of Roblar's Cavalier rather than Fighter. He did not, BB. I actually asked that. He was not a fan of the Cavalier. Rob Kuntz. No. Yeah. But they never win. Well, yeah. Oh. Well, Bones' character's won, and she's Cavalier. Right? So, okay. And specializations inverted +2/+1, and then doubles +3/+3. You get it. Here's your code of chivalry. It's all here. So you got a code. You got a general code, and you can tweak it for each of your knighthoods. Something more flavor, right? First flavor, 1983. There's no flavor in all those knighthoods that are written a paragraph in the 80 and 83 glossography, right, Anna? That's it. Oh, Knights of the Heart. There's 24 of them, so this was
there's nothing mechanically in those books. It's all the themes and fluff, so to speak. Yeah.
So we really tried to figure out how to get this, get some flavor. So that's where the start came. Now, the Arcana version came out. Tim loves that one. I can't stand it. So we used it for a bit. I was like, I made everyone's on the Dragon 72 version. It's so much better, in my opinion. It's got so much more opportunities for being different. Tim likes things the same. I like things variety. I want to give the characters a little bit of option. So, and lance specialization makes your character really nasty in combat. I mean, there's not a lot of riding around horses in dungeons, right? So if you're not doing outdoor adventuring, the Cavalier's off horse a lot, but that's okay. Yeah. So, all right. So the Cavalier is a start, and look, you got your, they have their pennants, their battle flags, all that's there. So that is where everyone went. All the early Winchesters are Cavalier Paladins, all of them. Andre Winchester, Elaine Winchester, Emerson Winchester III, Elijah Winchester III, are all of them are Cavalier Paladins. Every single stinking one of them.
So that multi-class gave you a broad range of stuff because you were both Paladin and
right. They're
Cavalier?
Paladin subclass of Cavalier. So for a time, we eliminated Paladin subclass of Fighter, which is an original 1E, and then realized that was a mistake. Especially because Marco, you remember Marco was playing, he was still playing them. We just said no one could make new ones. I got rid of that. Now we're back to Paladins. Paladins could be either. 90% of the Paladins that are created are subclasses of Fighter, not Cavalier. New ones in the campaign. I can't think of a new Cavalier Paladin since Hessler, Bill, if you're still on. And that's got to be 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, in the game. So I know I'm babbling a lot about what's going in the workings here, but I'm trying to get to this final where we are today. So you have you have a great option with the Cavalier class, and the Cavaliers don't have to be these. I charge in. I know it was like when these came out, it was like, oh, all they do is charge, right? Yeah, no recent ones, absolutely. And then the order of fighting and all, and these guys will never retreat. They're immune to fear, all that. Okay, but they're not stupid, right? And another thing is, these are perfect for evil characters. We don't. What's the word? We don't say you have to start out in good and be fallen. That's stupid, right? In here, you can have neutral Cavaliers, you can have chaotic evil, and that makes it fun. Because like Lord Page and all his guys, he's chaotic neutral, and most of his guys are evil. That's cool, having bad guy Cavaliers. Everyone remembers Robin Hood and all the Saxons. I mean, the Normans fighting the Saxons. They were all evil SOBs, jousting, right? So, yeah, there you go. So it does depend on the region of the Paladin, religion of the Paladin. Fourth, correct. But it's a personal choice. And then we got subclasses, so we'll talk about that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, Mordred, definitely. A good one. All right. So, from that, and it's a great article, so I highly recommend it. And then Dragon 73, I believe, is Bandits. So you got to have 72 and 73 in your own repertoire there. All right. So here we'll leave this up to Cavalier. All right. A little sidebar appears in second edition, thanks to Eric Boyd. So we're going to go here. Now this one, mine doesn't have the right cover, so let me throw the cover up. Give you another option. All right, the Fates and Avatars. So now there's options here. A lot of people love the Plethora of Paladins article. I think it's in 108 or 110 Dragon, where you can have every alignment has their own. Now remember, I'm an anti-Paladin guy all the way. So anti-Paladins exist in my game, and they're all subclasses of fighter. Okay. Yeah. So within this book, at the very back, you get a bonus class that like no one knows about at all. And I was like, wow. I saw this, and it wasn't until like 5 years ago that I realized that, oh my God, this thing is all out of whack. Let me just bring it up. This thing is a bad type one. I probably opened up wrong. Give me 1 second here, and I will bring this up here. I don't think I have it in my correct folder here. Let me go here. All right. Okay. Oh, it's a little. This is called the Crusader. Okay. Now this is a 1E 2E class. So another great option, and we have Crusaders in our game. If you don't want, like, say you want a Crusader of Tritherion, or you want a Crusader of Foltest, which would be kind of cool, or a Crusader of Ius on the evil side. They're holy, and notice I put holy warriors in the title. They're holy warriors. So they are a hybrid of a specialty priest and a fighter, or a specialty priest and a paladin, but depending on alignment. So the anti-paladins are awesome. So Crusaders are priests of deities of war, combat, or conflict who stand at the forefront and fight for their faith. They must either be lawful or chaotic in alignment. So they can't be neutral evil, neutral good, or two neutral. So they're kind of on the law of chaos fight here. So, and with that, they have special abilities. They fight as fighters. They save as clerics. They get con bonus as fighters. They get spells as clerics, specialty priests.
That is interesting. The saves is another one of these mechanics that you can dials that you can play with when you create that is key, so to speak. Meaning, dude.
Because cleric saves are way better than fighter saves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially on
poison. Do you keep them like save like a fighter, save like a cleric, save like a thief, or do you dabble in between and give them odd ones or something like that?
Specifically in this one, they save as clerics. They save on the cleric table. And then with that, there's attached the spheres of the Crusader are here, and all their spells. And all their spells are set up as a specialty priest. So this is their entire Crusader list, with the exception of the tilde is one thing and the star is another. The star is lawful Crusaders only, and the tilde is chaotic only. So, like, for example, here's Order's Wrath, Defensive Harmony, here's their law, chaotic combat, chaos hammer, their chaos, battle fates, chaos, right? Protection, it's just, you get the idea. So this is a random casualties, chaos, rigid thinking is lawful. So I got one list for all the Crusaders. All right, so the Crusader's kind of cool. So here's another step toward knighthood, filling in your knighthood. The Crusader can be like, wow, I can now make a Crusader of whatever deity I have, and I can tweak it and fill it up so that they have their code for their deity is kind of like someone who's a priest.
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, do all the Cavaliers and stuff, are they required to be religious and have a deity, or could they be?
Not Cavaliers.
Okay. Yeah,
not Cavaliers. I say Cavalier Paladins. Yes.
Of course.
Not
as
Cavaliers.
Soon as you mix Paladin in there,
Oh yeah, I have the Charlemagne's Paladin book. It's green cover. I have it. I think it's like $150 now. It's insane how much it is. I mean, I don't know if I have it in PDF. I have it downstairs, and I have all the green ones. It took forever to get them. And they're great, but they're so niched, right?
I'll see if I can find it and show it on stream here, because I think I have it here somewhere.
So now, because I'm showing this to you because not everyone's played Lawful Good, right? So now you can make a chaotic neutral. You can make a freaking Crusader. There you go. Yeah, that's a beautiful copy.
Yep. Yeah, I barely used it, so this is really mint condition. So, and it comes with some maps of the Holy Lands and castles and stuff. So these were fantastic books. The Green series, highly recommended.
But they were probably the least used out of all the splat books because. Yeah, but they're awesome to have now. So this is, you can make a chaotic neutral Crusader of Ralashaz, right? So you can do all sorts of things with this. Another step toward a knighthood or your deity, and that's what I like about it. Plus, they can use specialty items. They can use like Holy Avengers if there was like a Chaos Avenger. It's kind of neat. So there you go. Kudos to Eric Boyd on this one. I got to ask him a little bit more on why he did it, but I think the reason he did it was he was like on that plethora of paladins thing, but he didn't want to go that far. So he wanted to make alternates to a paladin, and that's what he came up with, was a Crusader. So, there you go. There you go, Rob. That's a good one to add into CNC. Absolutely. All right, so now we have Cavaliers, Cavalier Paladins, and Crusaders, right? Still, everyone's playing Cavalier Paladins, joining Knighthoods. But now let's get back to that article which came out. And this is not ancient history for us. It's not that long ago that we did this. It's probably 15 years. 2010, probably a little bit before that, 2005, so 20 years ago. That's a guess.
It's like yesterday, but it's when
we're getting old.
BB, no. I'll talk about Inquisitors and Undead Hunters. They're subclasses of Paladin. They don't really kind of fit into this discussion on Knighthood. So, all right, let's talk about some of the Knighthoods. Let's do that. So, what knighthoods are you using in your campaign? I use my Order of Ulick. We have relationships with the Knights of the Heart. We definitely use the Knights of the Holy Shielding. And then there's the fourth one which we'll talk about at the end that Bill found the article on, and we're using the Knights of the Chase. So those are the three. We don't use Knights of the Watch that much. We don't use. I'm on the right side of the map. I don't use the Knights Protectorate, right? So I got three basically that I'm utilizing, but one is done for me, right? Especially the Living Greyhawk did it for me, so I can figure this out now. So we come here, and what we're going to do, we're going to hybridize the Knight, and we're going to take that prestige class, and we're going to put it into a 1E stat version. The Knight of the Holy Shielding class. It's its own class. So it's kind of its own prestige class, right? Alignments, look at that. There's 3 alignments. Lawful good, neutral good, or lawful neutral. Human, half elven, or elven, and here's your minimum stats. Now they do not increase stats like Cavaliers. So if you are a Knight of the Holy Shielding class, guess what? If you do not join the Knights of the Holy Shielding, you revert to Fighter, Cavalier, or Saxon class, depending on statistics and background. You must be in the Knighthood to be a Knight of the Holy Shielding. If you are a Knight of the Holy Shielding, you don't have to be this class. Do you understand that? Paladins can be that class. Fighters, magic, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, or multi-class. Yeah, I understand. Yep. This is a specialized hybrid class for the Knighthood. So I took that prestige class and I backed it in. Look at how nasty this freaking table is. The experience table is disgusting. 2 million experience points at level 12. Right? Hey, Fuzz.
12? That's like more than a 20th level wizard.
I think wizard, I think that's the equivalent of probably about 14th, 15th level.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about that, because they're 375 after.
I thought they were not that bad.
No. Look, it's 500,000 per level. It's a nasty. They start with a 2-hit die. Here are their special abilities. Now, this is where you can really tone this into what is going on in your campaign. All right. So protection from evil or chaos, depending on their alignment. Right. If they're lawful neutral, they get protection from chaos. They can smite evil or chaos 1 time per day. Here we go. +1 to hit damage and saving throws versus allies of IUs or infernals. +2 at 7th. You get it. So they're specifically tailored to go fight IUs right now in the war, it's going on from the ashes, right? Immune to fear, they get it 5th. Ally save versus fear effects. They get this great spell, Vengeful Fist of Heronius, which comes out of what book, Anna? Vengeful Fist of Heronius.
Oh, that must be the Bastion of Faith.
Yes, it comes out of the Bastion of Faith. So we've incorporated Bastion of Faith into this too.
I read it a few years ago when I set up because since I don't have classes in Hawktails now, I need to figure out. So the way I have it is like, if you want to be a Knight of the Holy Shielding, that means that you have to show up and say that you can wield the sword this good, so to speak, and you need to be tough enough. And so there is a bunch of these. I don't have any classes, but I still have a lot of these dials. So meaning you have hit die size, you have weapon proficiencies, and you also have one thing that is not in regular D&D. It's called combat prowess. That simply do a lot of different things for your ability in combat. It gives you the number of damage dice you do. And that is basically a number of, meaning how many enemies can you attack in the same round, and how many damage dice, because you don't get attacks straight out. You simply get, if you attack one enemy, you can do all your damage dice, or you say that a good fighter has prowess 3, reasonably, not the best one, but a good fighter, a solid combatant will have a prowess 3, like a mid, like 10th level or something. Well, and that means that they have 3 damage dice. They can attack up to 3 creatures. They have 3 damage dice, and that also means that then they can either, if they say, "Oh, I'm going to clobber the first one that comes full and just do all 3 damage dice," bang it really hard, so to speak. Or you can simply say, well, there's like 3 guys. I'm going to hit that one first, and I'm going to hit that one, and then that one, and give them 1 each, or any combination thereof, so to speak. But then you can also train and say that I want to learn to use a longsword or a battle axe or whatever weapon really well. So when you specialize in a weapon, that gives you 1 more to hit, but it also it upgrades your damage die. And it upgrades your crit range. So if you specialize in a weapon, even if you specialize in a dagger, that means that it goes from a D4 to D6 to a D8 to a D12 and so on, depending on. And there's 5 levels of specialization with mastery included. So 4 levels of specialization and mastery.
So you'll need to set minimums for when they can join based on.
Well, it will basically be how desperate the order is, so to speak. In peacetime, the order will be like, well, they will pick among the best ones. So if, let's say, they have a recruitment once a year at a tournament, or they have you want to join the order, you have to show up and you have to be one of the 10 best they're going to choose the 10 best applicants that year, so to speak. So you basically have to show up and you have to show off that you're one of the 10 best that year at using a shield and a sword and have these proficiencies. And then you have to show up and you have to beat one of the existing knights in combat, or at least show off that you can. They will test your battle skills to see that you can be good enough, so to speak. So you probably have to have like a combat prowess of 2 to be kind of to even think about it, and then be at least a specialization 1 in using a long sword and have armor proficiency and all these stuff, so to speak. So it will be more like, but in a wartime, when half of them are wiped out, they will probably be less.
Sure.
Yeah, then they will be like, oh, come on, you can reasonably put on an armor and wield a sword, and you're the best. Exactly. So then it might be courage and all that. It's like battlefield commendations that they're easier once the war started, so to speak, than they are before the war. So it's not it's mechanics part of it, but there are also many different. And since it's not a class, so even a wizard can say, well, I want to be better at combat, so I'm going to learn combat and get combat prowess, so to speak, as well, or upgrade my hit die. But that means that they learn a little bit less magic, so to speak, if they do. So and one of the key things you learn with weapon specialization is increased crit range, and you get better upgrade your damage die. So yeah.
So you gotta with your campaign, you can figure out, well, someone wants to join. You just need to set parameters where they are, and and then do.
It will be like a Heronian paladin, for instance. If you want to join the Heronians, you need to both be able to handle a battle axe and a sword. You need to be trained in both, and you need to show them that you can handle both of them.
It makes 100% sense. Yeah. Now, I want to show something in these in the Bastion of Faith. So this is Templar Lugo. There aren't this is pre Living Greyhawk. So he's a paladin 15 with a lance, but you don't know if he's a Cavalier paladin or fighter paladin. I think he's a fighter paladin. You just don't know. And then you got like P. All these people like P. I'll show you. C1. It shows you Mother Phala P. Priest 7 of Heronius, their glory axe. So it says right there, specialty priests in here too. So just to show that this is like a second edition era book. Which was really good. So when you tie that in, all right, you got 3rd edition, 3.5, 2nd edition, 1st edition, all goes into this. Here's their daily abilities, right? And then here's their spell list. The zeros, note that if they have a wisdom bonus, they're going to get a spell.
Yeah. It's like the 1st edition cleric, and they had bonus spells due to wisdom. Yeah.
Now we made a rule up that the way we do recovery of spells, they get spells back at half rate of a normal priest or cleric. So that slows down their re-upping. They're not getting all their spells back in one night. So that helps. No, they get half rate back. We do that for rangers, paladins, knights, all of them.
The oones that were like half part casters, so to speak. Okay.
Half rate.
Yeah.
Clerics, and specialty priests and mages. They get them back at the standard rate that we use. So, and here's your spell list that you're going to get. Now, the highest knight characters we got are like 10th, 11th level at most. We don't have any super powerful ones because they've been in playtest all these years. But like the Knight of the Holy Shielding. Oh, lastly,
yeah.
Notice knights may use specialty priest spell list of Heronius or Ilmater. As we use that's a big deity in our game, especially because of all Mark's characters. If they are a worshiper. All others may only use the standard cleric list. So if you are a Knight of the Holy Shielding and you worship St. Cuthbert, you're not getting the specialty priest list.
No, but that is fairly powerful that they get a full spell list, so to speak. They get a lot of things to choose from. So yeah,
they get a lot of they got a lot of variety, in all their spells. Yeah, Ilmater, you're right, Curtis, but Ilmater is also a Finnish deity in deities and demigods. So we were using Ilmater from day one. There's a lot of deities in Forgotten Realms that are pulled right from deities and demigods. Finnish. Yeah, Ilmater, Myliki's in there. That's Celtic. Leviatar is one of them. There's a whole bunch of them that are, yes. Yep, same way. Exactly. And that's where that comes from. So there you go. One down. I'm like, okay, one down. Why don't I make up the heart? That's going to be easy. I'll do Knights of the Heart next. And so here's the Knight of the Heart. Most of the experience tables are the same. There's some differences, some minor differences. The alignments are different. Lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good for Knight of the Heart. Human, elven, half elven again. Here's their special abilities. So protection from evil 1 time per day. Choice: smite humanoids or giants or undead or infernals. See, they got to pre-choose which one they want to do based on what they're targeting. They get the ignore late wound spell. They restore strength. Draw upon holy might. They can study the opponent to get combat ability. No mercy. Extra declared primary weapon attack twice per day. And then there's their spell list. Now they, because they're all over the place, knights may use specialty priest list of a good aligned GREYHAWK deity if they are a worshiper. So there, because Knights of the Heart aren't specific to any deity that I could figure out. Yeah, so St. Cuthbert's still better. Patrick, you may think that. That's okay. It's all good. So there, Knight of the Heart is done pretty easily. And you go with their code and all that
you have
stuff.
better fighting ability than the clerics do. So
yes, it's a hybrid of a specialty priest and a paladin.
Yeah, it's a war priest of
That's it. That's it.
Yep.
And they fight on the fighter table. They save on the fighter table. And that's it. And they get specialization, so they're a pretty powerful class. Like I said, the drawback is the experience table.
But that's interesting because that was part of balancing in first edition was the spell that and when you have the experience point that was something, and they were still in second edition, but it was less so because they tried to balance the actual special abilities and the numbers and the math rather than tweak the experience table. And then third edition came with a standardized experience table, same for everybody, and that way that meant that they have to make every level compatible power-wise between all the different classes.
See, that's the problem I have with that question. Why would Knights of the Heart be Heronius if they have a bunch of elves in the High Forest version? Right? That's the issue. That's why I don't think you can just limit it to Heronius. I think they're multi-deities.
I don't think the Knight of the Heart is that deity bound in that sense. No.
Right. So that's why we left it to general.
Yeah, I see it as more secular than and the way I use Knight of the Heart is that I use them as they are the king of Furiundi's personal envoys. Right. When he wants to elevate them above the squabbling province politics, he has the knighthood. He's not a fighting force. It's his representatives to adjudicate. Of course, they can fight and they can, because it's a feudal society. So they fight for the king so if there's like a dispute where the king has one of the sides,
Right.
he can send one of the Knight of the Heart to fight on his behalf in duels and settle matters and stuff, and they act on his behalf. They are his diplomats and his eyes and ears, and they go in his name, so to speak. So the Knight of the Heart is an honorary thing that you get once he wants to elevate you above the other nobility, and he wants to say that you're special, and I think you're really, really special, and you have a special place in my country. Then you become a Knight of the Heart, and then you have to, of course, also be someone who's martially distinguished as well, so to speak. That's
Sam, I'm gonna bust your bubble right off the bat. Okay, on that, we know for a fact that a lot of the knights, and I think the one that has the Tiergs, Charnelem, is a knight, and she's a Lana. We know that because it's right in the Marklands book that she is. Charnelem is the one with the Tiergs.
Yeah,
she's not. Yeah, so and she's, I think, part elf. She's half elven or a human.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's a lot in the heart, a lot of different deities.
Yeah,
but that's
Rob,
okay.
I agree with you. I think the Valunian
Knight
of the Hearts are Rao a lot. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Knight of the Heart, you may see Corellin, Alana, maybe Tritharion too, but maybe some other deities too. I think you're going to see. Now we have
Tritharion might be more in secret because they are chaotic. They are, but they might be in secret because they will be the ones that do some of the spying behind enemy lines and other stuff like that, subversive to lead uprising in Iusian lands and stuff like that. So they might be elevated up to Knights of the Heart as well. I have it that they might do. Yeah.
Cool, Sam. You get it. I mean, just for me, this is good enough because number one, it's not our name area focus. When we're doing stuff in the Vesvi, they're mostly dealing with Knights of the High Forest, right? So, and Erelthotharinal is the Drow Hunter elven god from that article. He's not even a regular deity for elves, but we use him in our campaign, so I have him here as an idea. But I think there's a wide swath of possibilities there. That's okay, Tux. Don't worry about it. That's why you're here. That's why you're here. That's why.
No, that's
That's part of the fun, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. But it's a good thing to just note that trying to figure this all out because. You can't. It's hard to do a one size fits all, and this one, I think, the Holy Shielding is much more focused on deities. Heronius number 1, and we have Ilmater number 2, just because of a different faction. But I think with this one,
but I also see that as different parts of the history. Originally, I don't see them. They were local protectors and stuff, and I don't see them as then they had a time when that came in and became, and then it declined again during the when it simply became a way of corrupt in that sense. You can buy your position and lead to the downfall. And now Katarina come in, and now it becomes if you're not a Heronian, whatever, don't even think about applying. You need to be pure of heart and blah blah blah, and it becomes So but that is just my take on it. This is, and again, it's what suits your stories.
That's 100%. It's what suits your game and your stories. Some knights are direct with gods, some direct with countries, some direct with land. Exactly.
Yeah, and some knighthoods are religious, some are just political, and some might, I think, be more like almost like a mercenary group in that sense, that they have a militaristic zeal and so on and so forth, but it's more like a sports team almost. It's like you're there because we are the best fighters and we fight for the king, or we fight for something, whatever it is, so to speak. But then you have the mercenaries of Yorhasi, and they are almost like a knightly order too, but they are a mercenary group that fights for money, but they have a lot of the tenets of a knighthood in that sense too.
Exactly.
They membership and the legions and stuff too. So
and a legion. You have some Hexer worshippers in there.
Yeah.
Lawful neutral Hexer worshippers in the legion, along with some others. It's a mix. It's a very eclectic mix.
Yeah.
But then so from there, I'm like, oh, I can make a Knight of Ulick up easily now for my group. Now I don't know how many Knight of Ulicks we have in the actual order. Probably about 10, 8 to 10.
Yeah.
So, and we'll talk about petitioning in a second. So, all right. You must petition at 4th level, but you don't get, or you get entry till 6th, as people were saying. Do you allow fighters to be? Yeah, of course. In the order of Ulick, every class, with the exception of assassin, and maybe a couple others, can be knights. You must be good alignment, and that's it. That's it to join. A good alignment is all we look for, and that's why Venarium Vord, we pretend Venarium Vord is. Yeah, I know you have
good.
2. Yeah, we let him pretend that he's a knight member. All right, so from this, here's a Knight Order of Ulick. They get Protection from Evil, Heart Glow, Godspeed, Exaltation, Storms. Notice it's a Forgotten Realms spell. Storm Swordfire once per day. We want to talk about lighting up undead, because there's a lot of undead hunting with the Order of Ulick, and that's why that spell is devastating to freaking undead. Holy Smite once per day. Shield of the God is the Mayhem level 5 spell once per day. So knights may use specialty priest spell of an approved good aligned deity. Notice our big bad Winchester Ukos in here. Ilmater, if they're a worshiper. There's a couple others. It's just the way it goes. Joe, those models I got from the gift certificate I won from your channel are pretty awesome. Posted pic. That's awesome, man. Great. Fantastic, dude. I'm glad to see you're enjoying it. Hey, what's up there, Garner? Good to see you. Very good. So, here's our spell list. So we have the prestige class character, knight characters. We have 3 for now, and then a 4th comes along. Bill's on now, and Bill's the one that found this one. And let's take a look. If I can remember which. Dragon 2. Whoops. So we're going to go to Dragon 297. Dragon 297. There we go. Now, this is a little different. Hey, Gary, thanks, man. Thank you very much. Here, let me, my thing locked up here. There, we'll add in that long one there. So so far, notice I've used 83 months. That's insane. I've used a Dragonlance book and a Forgotten Realms book so far to help me out here, right? Okay. Now, thanks, Moose. Pop it up. Boom. Okay. The Knights of the Chase, Creighton Broadhurst. We're going to go on a little different spin now. This is a loose knighthood. This is a knighthood based on Tritharian worship. This is not a knighthood based on location. So I like this class a lot. It's 3rd edition, right? Creighton and Paul Luby and, oh my God, Stuart, they unbelievable in this amount of stuff they put out. So, Patrick, thanks, man. Thank you very much. So, new prestige class Knight of the Chase. So we're going to take that, and we're going to take the abilities here. Here's to qualify, showing you all the abilities here. Class features and all spells per day. We got the spell list already done, and then here's all their abilities, right? So I'm going to take these abilities, and we're going to pop these into our own, once again, 1st edition class from there, and we're going to run with it. And we have 1 in the entire campaign. That's it right now, just 1. All knights. Once again, the Order of the Chase is a loose organization of knights, all dedicated to the service of Tritharian across the Flannis. So this is a really large. Oh, thanks, Garner. This is a really large organization, or maybe a small organization with a large span of area. And yes, so Champions of Vengeance article, Spear or Broadsword, all the levels are the same. We keep the experience tables the same between them. I don't want to get too confused, right? And then here are their abilities. Tracking as a ranger, cool, right? True Strike, once per day. Gain Nemod's Brethren Services Special War Dog. So that's kind of cool. And that's Namud was a character of lore that Creighton had written up. So we got GREYHAWK lore here. Double damage dice on the evil or lawful neutral. Notice the lawful neutral opponent, and that is because they hate Foltest people with a passion. The Tretherians hate Foltest, so this is a perfect time to get some good against neutral, right? And then they gain a Harukin services, an intelligent hawk, and then they get to spell Doom and escapable retribution or mark of justice 1 time per day. There you go. And then they must worship Tretherian. Must. So, and there you go. And that's our 4th one. In playtest, 1 character is right now, and he's in a Narwhal Headhunter. Yep. And there you go. And that is the 4 knight classes we have. 3 of them are set to traditional knighthoods, and 1 is set to a deity. But it was a really great idea by Creighton, and he wrote it up. He probably used it in Living GREYHAWK, and so we're gonna use it ourselves in Living GREYHAWK. So there you get to more flavor based by class or by to your knighthood. Now, how do you, if you're Raging Swan lasts more than 4 hours, you can. Yeah, Gary, I don't even want to talk to you about that stuff, man. I don't tell you that 4 hours. Yeah, we won't even go there on what's going on with me personally there. So, you can take these classes and incorporate them into your lore and into your oaths and into what they hold dear. And run with it for those, and you can do it to other ones too. Obviously, Valmoku has knights in Nyrond, and he does knight classes, right? So it's all. Have you guys talked about the Knights Protector? No, Gary, because I don't have, and we can talk about them. I don't have classes for them because I don't use that. I don't use them, but maybe Anna has some ideas, and we can just definitely discuss them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have, what.
They're on the right side of the map, so you might get there one day. Yeah.
Well, I might get there, but I'm not staying.
No. Yeah.
So here's where we are.
Good.
Cavaliers, Cavalier Paladins, Standard Paladins, Crusaders, right? And then knight classes. Kind of your prestige classes that go into a knighthood. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have fighters, and you can't have fighter thieves, and you can't have fighter mages, and you can't have straight mages, and elemental, whatever. You can have whatever you want in your knighthood, right? How do you get into the Order of Ulick in my campaign? Anyone know?
You have to do something distinguished in your adventuring career, and
that's exactly
get
right.
Noted by I forgot who in the
someone who you need to have a mentor recommend you for petition, and then you go on an adventure. A lot of money too. You need to go on an adventure that I set and throw me an adventure in the campaign, and then that's how you get into the Order of Ulick, right?
Might be Silchus might run a order somewhere where you have to pay your way in. Yeah,
it is corrupt. I'm a corrupt DM, man. I am. I'm bad. Let me see.
Oh, that's when the players have to pay you. Then.
Let's see. Let's go down to the latest Order of Ulick ones to see who we got in here. All right. So you'll notice that there's some characters outside of my core group of. Thank you for the hype train, everyone. So, Gary, the Prestige class is a class in 1E, but it's not the class. It's a class that can be part of your knighthood, but doesn't have to be, right? So we have them for all of them. Let's see who we got here. So in the last couple years of gaming, we got Tom's character, Tom the Vindicator's character, Erebus, which Brett plays all the time, Walt's character, Elazira, that is the character who married Emerson Winchester IV. That's Coco's. Fawnland, Lergia, Maram, Orenthera, Emron, Ashrin, NPC, Durgrim. There's Rob's, Tim the Truly. There's Tim's, Yvette and Solus. We come back up here. We got Perrin. That's Bill's. Silas. That's Tom's. Oh my gosh, I gotta get Tegan Rothschild still in there. Scarn. That's Mike Disney's. And and then you go up Waltz, NPC, all the way up. So there's a whole bunch. There's a whole mix. But like in the last couple of years, we've had some. And notice they're 6th and 7th level. At 6th level, you can petition to get in and join, and then you go on missions. So it's about another 10 characters in, and it's and look, there's 244 members in course of 45 years. So, yeah. Hey, Wu Tang, good to see you. So, other knighthoods. All right, Knights Protectors. I don't even know where to start on the Knights Protectors. Now, I have like I don't even know where they exist at this point, Gary. I know you have articles on them, but for me, I'm not an expert on it. I don't know.
They kind of disappeared when the Great Kingdom fell apart. But after that, they might still exist and uphold their personal, so to speak, meaning they're different. Some of them even became Death Knights, like what is it, Tyrion? What is it called? The guy that hangs out in the Adri.
Great question.
That is so. Some of them in that sense, and some of them might have fled, like Mustrine, Lord Mustrine. He might be a Knight Protector in that have fled the country and
interesting.
So you can have them in. They can be exiled. They can have gone in inner exile, or they can still exist in there, try to uphold it in secret. They might be forming an organization to take back Rossies or do something. But then you have their offshoots, meaning both the United Kingdom of Elissa has their knights, and then the North Kingdom has their knights and stuff. And they are kind of organizations that have inherited a lot of from the Knight Protectors. And then if you take the Knight Protectors, they have like an early age era, a golden era, and then a fallen era, so to speak, a corrupt era. So when the Neolix took over and Kargoth and started doing so. So you can take them from the early days when they were, I guess, basically this very distinguished fighting men, so to speak, that fought for the Great Kingdom, and then they became more codified, and they got protection of the Overking and became a codified force under the Overking and to protect the empire, blah blah blah. And then they gained more significance as it went, and then eventually they fell. Long before the Great Kingdom, they fell into disrepute, and then the whole empire fell apart, so to speak. So I think it's great. You could choose your era if you want to run historic, or you could choose someone who tries to uphold whatever the Knight Protector was from that era. Meaning Lord Mistrine might be a Knight Protector in exile from an era just before the Kargoth took over, or just after, or something. He might be in liege with him, or he might be the one that fled from him, or whatever, so to speak. So you can do cool stuff with this. You can
absolutely
play with history there. Yeah.
And I wish like I said, Gary, I am not the expert on the Knights Protector, and I don't want to.
Me neither.
But I don't.
I
do not. I can see the connection between the Knights Protector and the Nyrondese and the Holy Shielding. I don't know if I would say that they have the same offshoot for the Heart. The Heart seems a little more disjointed.
But I think that also come because you realize that the Order of the Shield were formed when they were part of the Great Kingdom. And also, but the Nyrondese Knights might also be from an era when they were part of the Great Kingdom. So they were regional knights, so to speak, that protected a part of what was the Great Kingdom. But the Knights of the Heart were formed, I think, I might be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but they might have a history. They were formed as the Furiundi have broken off from the Great Kingdom. So in a way, they might have been formed to protect an area from the Great Kingdom.
That's what I thought.
That exactly. That's more my take on it. And the Knights of the Holy Shielding were formed in order to protect the neighborhood, the shield lands, while they were still part of the Great Kingdom. So, and some of them are very meritocratic, and some of them, and take the Shield Lands, they were probably very meritocratic originally, and then they became more and more corrupt, and then Katarina came in and cleaned it up, and now they're meritocratic again, so to speak. So yeah.
In your world.
Exactly, in my world, yeah. But
in
I
mine,
also
they're
think
still a mess.
Oh yeah, but in it was also part of the official campaign that Katarina came in and cleared it up, so to speak. So
Yeah.
that was part of Living Greyhawk.
Knights of the Watch are so huge too. There's thousands of them.
Exactly, and Gary,
yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, Knights of the Watch, they come from, they're not part of the Great Kingdom history, so they are not tied in. They don't follow. They are not part of the Knight Protectors, or they're not formed against the Knight Protectors. The Kioish tradition and all of that. It's a different threat. It's a different empire and a different part of the world, so to speak. So, yeah.
So I mean, you can.
Oh, thank you, Samwise. You corrected me. They were part of.
Knights of the Horrors. They were founded. So Knights of the Heart were 400, which is maybe because we deal with high folk and not the other two that much.
But 400, then you're way beyond. That's a couple of hundred years after Furyundi had broken off from the Great Kingdom.
The high folk ones are very, very they're on their own. They're out. They're almost like the Rangers from the north in the Middle Earth. They're you never see another knight for weeks on end because there's not that many of them. There's 24 of them, and the Vestvi's huge, right? So yeah. Yeah, and those are knights, but they're not part of a knighthood. Yeah, so for me, we tried to figure out a way to make it that you can have your cake and eat it too with the class, with a prestige class. It works. Yeah, not all knights are part of an order. That's true. That's true, man. But then again, in far as in a 1E, 2E. What is Sir Bluto? What is his class? What is his class in 1E, 2E there, Gary? Is he a Cavalier? Is he a Paladin? Is he a fighter? Right. That's what we're talking. That's a tough call. I guess it just depends on what your feel is, right? So now there are other knighthoods. Correct? There are other knighthoods. So he's a fighter. Okay.
Yeah, well, hang on a second.
That's it, Dale. I mean, everything is all over the place, right? It's just you don't know. I'm just explaining what we did to try and solve some of the problems out there. That we wanted a knight, we wanted one of those specialty, almost a prestige class.
We have Corellan's arrows from.
That's an adventuring group.
Okay.
It's a mercenary group. Corellan's arrows is a mercenary group. Yeah. So I have one. Let me find the article. I didn't even realize that I had it in a book.
Knights of Luna.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore. Remember what Melf said? We have heard it from Melf's mouth saying, "I'm not leading them." So coming up. So
what about the evil ones? I'm thinking like IUs have the legions of the deranged.
Yeah. I don't know if they're knights. I think they're just
and to be honest, when it comes to knighthoods, I want to be part of the feudal system in that sense.
Right. Oh, I agree.
That you swear allegiance, and then you have others under you that swear allegiance to you, etc. So the knight is like a mid-level, meaning the knight swears allegiance to his king or commander or something, and then in turn there are squires and others who swears allegiance to the knight. So he might be a temple master or a baron or an earl or a duke or count or something. And then you have the king or someone on top, so to speak.
Earth Journal 31. Page 22.
And Sam and others who know everything. Are there any Becloonish knighthoods or anything like that from another one?
I don't know of a knighthood, but I imagine there is an organization of elite fighters.
Well, I'm sure they must have some.
Yeah, but a lot of it must come out during Living Greyhawk.
Yeah.
Right. There's got to be one.
We have from the Bannermen from the Gloriolis. They are a fighting unit, so to speak. A Bannermen. They would not. I don't think they are really a knighthood per se, but they are noteworthy in itself.
The knight class gains spells. Not a cavalier doesn't. A paladin does very limited. So a lot of them get spells, but not all of them. I mean, if you're going to be a fighter or what we call foot knight, a Saxon class, they don't get spells. You know, it's just those hybrid classes, because it's a hybrid of a specialty priest and a paladin. So there's an order known as the Sons of Light, the Paladins of Azarok.
That's a cool one. So yeah.
Okay, 1,000. Where is that? Where are they?
Bakluni, I think. Yeah.
So, all right. So here you go. My Selenian Sisforest Night's Watch. It's a small group of 12, and that's it. And here's the article. Notice, oh, look, cartography by Mike Bridges here.
Mm-hmm.
It's the background on how this knighthood in Selene formed. There's only 12 members. Look, we're using Cavaliers at this time. We're not even using Elven Cavaliers. So this is an elf who is a regular Cavalier, no Elven Cavalier at the time. And look at the map we got from Mike. Mike did the map with Altamira in there. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
So
awesome.
But yeah, that just goes over another knighthood that we have. It's a very small one, but it serves a purpose, and it's way better than the Luna Knights. So there you go. Right. And that's just a small article I wrote a while back, and it's got in an Earth Journal. All right. I'm trying to remember for my work Zephyr article. Yeah, man, it's hard to remember everything. It's hard. It is. It is. And we got a lot of, like, most of these are player characters and NPCs in this, and as far as adventuring goes, you know, you go all the way up, and you have the officers and everything involved, and it was a fun way to get the characters have my Greyhawk's always been good versus evil. That's what we want. Is good versus evil. So, yeah, I mean, small knighthoods is where I think everyone should go to their campaign and develop smaller knighthoods and wherever you're playing. I think it's a great idea, Gary. I think it's an absolutely great idea to create, even, you know, it could be an order. It could be an order based on, you know, it could be a small offshoot order in Almore or Rel Devon or somewhere where they're you know, they'll stop undead hordes or something. You know, I mean, that's part of the fun of the game. You want to create stuff, right? You want to create create an organization. That's where, you know, it's cool to do that. So, not blaming Fred. Leave Fred alone. So, you talking about Fred whining or? Yeah. All right, just thinks one you should. Yeah, he did. Michael, he got it already. He got it. We're waiting for, if anyone sees Doorstop Idol, I need his email address for the win from yesterday. I don't see if he's on. Goes on. Yes, to win this, which is awesome. In that we gave out 2 of these in PDF yesterday, and I used 4 monsters in it yesterday. Tomb of Essential Horrors 2. Yeah. Nice book. So, and the PDF's really good. Yeah, Michael. Hopefully you got some. Hopefully people were interested in that. It's a really great book. So, all right. Questions. Anyone with questions? I know it's only 8:15, but like,
what's the highest when you have weapon specialization? What's the highest you can get, and what numbers do you get from that?
Okay, so I'm almost like you, but not to the scale that you are with Hawktails.
Yeah, I'm going crazy on the numbers there.
Right.
If you want to be really, really good at fighting, damn, you can be good. Yeah.
Let me go here. Let me go to my proficiencies. I'll show you what I created just recently. Oh, 2023. Is that recent? Okay. So you have single. Yeah, it's pretty recent. So we
Knights of the Kumquats.
Yeah, Fiend yes, Knights of the Kumquats. Yes.
That's awesome.
The Fiend Knights of Ivid are, of course, infamous. Yeah, and who created those Fiend Knights? We just had them on. Someone created
Fiend Knights. They're
was that Rob Kuntz? Hey, Star.
They were part of the Alyssa and over there back in the day.
Yeah, it was Rob. That's what I thought. It was Rob Kuntz. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So Anna, double specialization. This is fighters. This has to be fighter.
Mm-hmm.
So here's another advantage for fighter. We wanted to talk about why are fighters as good as a Cavalier or as good as a Knight, and the answer is yes, because they get double specialization. They get the battle shots. Hey, Blue Box. Hey,
Hello,
Rory.
welcome.
Good to see you. I'm glad to see you guys are playing. Oh my gosh, I got that shout out there. Everyone, please give Blue Box a follow. Good to see you. We're doing Classic D&D reprint giveaway. Oh, I just hit the cannon fire. Well, you can go to their Discord there, because that's where this discussion started on Monday. Giveaways, exclamation point drawing, Classic D&D reprints. Looking at giving away, I think tonight, Dwellers of the Forbidden City or Cult of the Reptile God, and maybe one of the original folios in reprint. Yeah. So thanks, Enoch. I appreciate that. All right, so you have all these. These are all the special proficiencies that are feats that are merged in our proficiency system, right? I added this last one, Weapon Grand Mastery. Okay, notice this triple star next to it. Our Weapon Grandmasters are base fighter class only. Only fighters. No duelists, no Knights, no Cavaliers, just the fighter. They're going to give them something different. All right. Dual classing removes ability, must seek specialized training in campaign. So what happens here, Anna, and you do this. So say they have a longsword, right? It's 1 die 12 against large, 1 die 8 against man-sized. It goes up one slot, which means it would go up to 2 to 16 or 1 to 12 against man-sized. It would go up one level, and that is a triple specialization. So they have to single, double, and then, right? Single specialize, double specialize, have the slots, and then Weapon Grandmaster is the third one. They have to have all three. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, Sparkles, good to see you.
Yep. Yeah, in Hawktails, your damage die will go up, but if you have a longsword, it will go up one damage die up to D12, and then you get +2 in damage from then on, so to speak. Because if you have like a great sword that does D12 to begin with, you just add +2 to damage.
Yeah, +2 in damage still, Dale. Yep. Dale, I wanted to create and so this is our thought here, and this comes from the Player's Option book, Combat and Tactics. I think it comes from that book. Which I got my hands on a few years ago. Player's Option. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. Spells of magic, spells of magic, spells of magic. They're all spells of magic. But I have it. I have that. There it is. Here it is. Here's where it comes from. This book, Player's Option, Combat and Tactics. All right. Yeah. So the thought on this was, we have duelists, and duelists run their schools, right? And there's only going to be one duelist in each one. I love the duelist class. It's just fantastic class. You have your Cavaliers running around and stuff. I wanted the fighters to be like, what's the fighter who has the school and the store in Expedition of Ruins of GREYHAWK? And he's trying to get the answering sword. Yeah. Oh man, it's gonna drive me crazy. He would fit into this. Now, it is not easy to get. Knights should be better at pitched fighting, organized battles, and tourneys, but not sure they would be better in dungeon and wilderness. Well, Gary, that's true. So, but it also depends on the character itself and who's playing the character with tactics, right? That's the thing. Any character can be better than another character because the player's better. Right? So that's a hard sell. But we tried to give our fighters a unique ability that no one else has. So if you're fighting with a battle axe, you're gonna get a die 10 with it instead of die 8. When you get to this Weapon Grandmastery. Dale, how many characters in my campaign are Weapon Grandmasters currently? I want to see if Dale knows this. And Anna, how many do you think? 2. How many do you think, Anna? Okay. Are Weapon Grandmasters?
4, maybe 4 then.
Anyone else with a guess? 7. No. The answer.
You have 2,000 characters, so yeah.
The answer is 0. Not one has
Okay.
made it. Not a single one has made it yet because I said you cannot default back into it at your level. So it's all, so as characters are leveling up now, they can become weapon grandmasters. Who is the closest character to it? This is a tough one. There's one character that if they make 9th level will go out and do their training. No, Curtis. Sorry for you laughing out. There's one character. Yes, Bill knows. Bill Creep's one of Creep's characters. Molly Hatchet. Yes, it's close. She's 8th level with a battle axe, and if she comes 9th, she's going to seek out a weapon grandmaster for her battle axe and become a one herself. Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. So I have none. So it's working. So a lot of those characters now for fighters want to become weapon grandmasters because they want to. It's something new and fresh in the game. So would it be cool to have a weapons grandmaster in a knighthood? Of course.
Yeah.
So there you go. But you're doing this already, Anna, with the way you're set up.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, in Hawk Tales, if you want to be, if let's take longsword, if you want to be the best at longsword possible, then you will become. So you have weapon prowess, your combat prowess 5, which means that you do 5 damage dice, so you can attack up to 5 enemies, and then you get weapon mastery. So you have +5 to hit. You do a D12 +6 extra damage or +4 damage. And then you crit on 15 or higher, your crit. So your crit range goes up by 1. So you get, instead of 20, you get 15 in crit range. So you will be lethal. And so if you meet... If you're like a regular fighting whatever character, and you meet someone who has an opponent that has maxed out that, and if you then you have someone who can do 200 points of damage in a round, easy. Yeah, so they can kill you in 1 round. That
200, you said?
Oh yeah.
What level?
Yeah, they do. Yeah. No, in order to get there, you probably have to be like 12th level or higher, or 14th or something like that. You have to be somewhere around 14. I think about 14 or so in level in order to get there. And in order to hit properly, you have to be 18th level to get +7 in proficiency bonus. That means that you will hit higher, but you still... but you will probably be like 14, 15. You can probably, but what you've done then is you basically have someone who can't do much except use a longsword. That's about it, so to speak. You would not be a master of bows and use spells and a whole bunch of other stuff. If you want to be the best swordsman in the country, you can be. You can be really, and then you will be lethal with a sword.
So here's and your game's a 5e game, and it may need to go that way with that damage. So we have a character, Torque Storm. He played the last 5 weeks in that Lidless Shabbath one. He's a wild elf, dual wielding with a high strength, and he gets 7 attacks every 2 rounds. 3 in primary, secondary, primary. He's 11th level. Well, he's going to make 12th. And then primary, secondary, the second set. So when he attacks 4 times per round, if he hits, he can do about 60. Which is nowhere near 200 points.
Yeah,
and that's without crits.
But it will be the character in Hawk Tales. You will do 5d12 plus probably about 10-ish or so. Assuming you have like a +3 on strength,
right?
You have another plus from your specialization, so +5, 6, 7, and then you can simply assume that he will probably have a +1 or +2 weapon on top of that. So that would add another die on top of it. So you will do like 6d12s +10 or something like that in damage on attacking one.
Maybe that's needed for 5th edition. I just don't know.
No, it's not needed for straight 5th edition. But remember that there is like damage reduction on my armor takes up damage.
Okay.
So if you meet someone who has a full plate, that takes 20 or 25 or something like that off the.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that means that you will only only do it would take 20 30 off or something like that. And if you meet someone who is really powerful, has like if you try to kill a big dragon or something, they might have an armor of 40.
And that's a damage resistance in your game?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you will still do like 5 points of damage. No, even if you can't go through the armor, you still do a little bit of damage.
Okay.
You have pass-through damage.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that you can always do, if you attack, if your attack hits, you always do 1 point of damage. Always do 1 point of damage.
That's because a great book, Gary.
Yeah, so always do 1 point of damage. So there's like an armor has a damage reduction, hardness, but it also has a pass-through damage.
Okay.
So let's say you have an armor that has a hardness of 10 and a pass-through of 3. That means that it will up to 10, you will do 3 points of damage. Above 10, it will simply cut off 10 of what you do. So that means that there's 2 ways of killing something. You either do a heck of a lot of damage in a few attacks, or you have many, if you do lots of attacks, like a bunch of people, and you surround someone. So if you're a fighter and you have a really good plate mail, or really good armor, if you are against one enemy, you can take a hell of a beating. But if half the village comes out with their pitchforks, whatever, you will be toast, because then they will have so many attacks that they will overwhelm you. And that's by design. So if you want to kill a dragon, for instance, you either a really good fighter warrior of some sort that comes with a dragon killing spear that goes up, that can do a heck of a lot of damage, or the whole party gangs up on the dragon and you get him. So there's like one or the other. You either do enormous amount of damage with a few attacks, or you do lots of damage on many attacks. They both things work almost equally well.
Conan did that. G20.
Yeah, but that's part of the design. And some of the armor is the same thing with armor. So if you have a few hit points, a plate mail or something wouldn't do that much good for you. You need other armor like leather or something that has lower pass through, because a really beefy armor like plate mail, the most advanced, they have a really high hardness, but they also have high pass through, and that's also by design. So if you're not if you just a rogue or someone who's sneaky, want to go around in back alleys, don't get a plate mail, because the plate mail will protect you from that. If you're a dwarven fighter, or you're someone who wants to stand up against an orc army, then you get plate mail, because it take these big stuff, so to speak. But you need a lot of hit points, because the pass-through damage will still give you a beating every round. But if you have 150 hit points, you can take 3 or 4 hit points per round, no problem. But if you're a low-level someone with only 20 hit points, then plate mail is not, that will not keep you alive long in a big fight, so to speak. So you choose your equipment for what you want it to do, or you choose something that is like all round, like a ring or chain that has a decent amount of protection and a low pass through. So but no armor can do everything. So you pick something. If you want something, you choose like a studded hardened leather that gives you decent all-round protection, or you simply say, I want to be a dwarven fighter and I have my tower shield and my plate mail, so I can take anything. But that means that is something for if you're a fighter or someone who has high prowess, tons of hit points, that's the armor for you, because then you can take an army, so to speak.
I'm chewing on icebreakers, everyone. I feel like I have bad breath. What if you use a fighter to become a knight? Card to become a holy knight. Just saying, sure.
Yeah.
Could that happen? Of course. Of course. You don't have to go crazy like me with creating all these knight classes and using crusaders and all that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
100%. You could use just straight fighters, straight clerics, paladins, whatever you want. Yeah, of course. Don't. If you don't want to overcomplicate things, don't. Seriously. I like to overcomplicate things with variety and options, and that's just because we've been playing for 45 years.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing now in Hawk Tales. I'm simplifying it. I'm stripping away stuff, and the beta version will probably be even less complicated than. Um, because in the beginning you have all these ideas and you want to do everything, and then it's like, nah, that makes it a little bit too complicated.
Yeah,
So there's some options I want to, yeah.
You have to play test.
Oh yeah. So now I'm rewriting it, and now I will run it through like another 100 play tests, and then I will go into beta with it next year, hopefully, and that way, then I will have. Now what I've done, I've added a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the first version because I didn't have high level play or anything like that in the first set of rules. So. But you have actions you can do in combat in Hawktails when you have most of the actions you can try no matter what your skill level. It's just that you might have disadvantage or something like that if you don't have. For instance, you can disarm. For instance, that's something when you're weapon master. If you have specialization 5, you can disarm fairly easy. You can knock the weapon out of your opponent's hands. You can try that even if you're weapon master, but that means that your attack will be at a disadvantage, and you also have to sacrifice some of your damage dice in order to do it. So the better you are at using the weapon, the more damage you can do while still disarming someone. So if you're a newbie, you can try and even if you're a villager, you can disarm someone, but it will be tricky, and you have to do it instead of doing damage. But if you're that's a weapon master, can come in and do.
That was I swear that was a mistake. It flips.
Yeah, that's funny.
The bottom button flips over when I press it sometimes. It does it all the freaking time. I apologize.
No, yeah. But so if you're a weapon master, you can disarm someone and do damage at the same time. So that
cool.
gives you options in the combat. Then there's a bunch of stuff. It's like you're a weapon master at using a bow, for instance. You can put 2 arrows and shoot them at the same time if you're weapon master. You can try that anyway, but you will shoot at a disadvantage, and your chance of hitting something goes down significantly.
So I want to show this because we put together. This is old. I haven't updated this in a long time.
Oh,
this was
any
known personages in my campaign from the Knight of the High Forest Heart. Okay, and a lot of them are NPCs, but Serenalil is the moonbowed blind knight in the Marklands, the one whose eyes are milky white because he's only 200 years old, but the moonbow's saying you gotta now go to Lenlikofka's Isle. I'm like, what? Stop. I mean, just So that's him. There's Sharnalim. She's a human ranger, right? And then NPC. There's Bill's character Alinor, and then Florim, a high level NPC, and then this was the other crazy Bill's one. She was a Knight of the Heart. And whenever I say the other crazy Bill, everyone, I mean, now of course I can't find it. Oh, there it is. I mean that emote, that guy, the no just no guy. Only about a dozen High Folk Knights, not counting squires. 24 according to the original Glossography in 1980, Gary, if I recall. 24, right? Let's go to the back of this. I think it said 24. Yeah. So, now they could be dead, some of them now, but that's only what, 8? It's 8 right there. So, exactly. Each one's special and probably famous. And look at this. We're running level 13. The lowest level is 9 here. So there's some high. I consider a level 11, 12 high in my game. So, yep, absolutely. And Sir Florim's like the highest one, and in my game, he's they're all high elves. No gray elves. No gray elves. What is your quest? So, yep. I just found that as I was rummaging through I got these old folders, combining with the new folders, just trying to see if there's something I missed here. Any questions? They're more exclusive than Knighthood, potentially more powerful than membership. Maybe. But it also could be a dying knighthood. It could be a knighthood with my Selenian knighthood is a charter limiting its power because the Yoland does not want that knighthood getting powerful as an organization, kind of like the Knights Templar, right? Deal. So they're limited to 12 by charter. So, that's a political decision there. Let me see if I got anything else in any of these other folders that we haven't discussed. Oh, look at this! I found. So in here is ready. You want to see a rare Jay dressed up for a Ren Fair? Here we go. There we go.
Yeah. Looks
So
awesome.
me on the left, Walt, Tim, and Tim's sister Amy. The Ren Fair. This is at Sterling, New York. That one. Yeah. So I'm probably, I don't know, 18. Yeah. Hey, Sage. So there you go.
Hello.
Long time ago. The glory days. And that just is in the folder here. Here's a 3 class for you. Check out sometime. Dusk Laid from Player's Handbook 2. All right. Player's Handbook 2, 3rd edition. Oh. All right. Player's Handbook 2, 2nd edition. Duskblade. I'll take a look at it. 2nd edition. Okay. It's in the. All right. I'll take a look. It's in supplemental rules in the back. Oh, 3rd edition. So it's Player's Handbook 3 then, not 2. Right?
I think they had a 2 in 3rd edition
Champions
as well.
All right. Yeah, that's it. So you reminded me. Okay, there you go. So we're going to go to another dragon. You reminded me there, Jeremy. Thank you. We forgot the Elven Cavalier. We should show it. So Dragon 114, which has the witch in it and has the very seductive one they got in trouble for, kind of, this one, right? Right. And we're going to go to an alternate. Yeah, thank you for doing that. We're going to go to an alternate to the regular Cavalier, and we're going to go to Chris Booth, page 26 article on and this. I love the Elven Cavalier. We have a fair number of them in the campaign. Yeah. So Elven Cavaliers are a version of the standard Cavalier, but they use short bow, and they're elves, no humans, and they fight longsword dagger style, and all their plus to hit and damage are all set as they level up with these, and they have a different ethos, slightly different than, they're not charging in, they're peppering it with short bow before they fight, so. Player's Handbook 2 and 3E. It was one of the last books. All right, so it's a 3.5 book, Jeremy?
3rd or
Oh, you've never seen this Elven
I'm not
Cavalier, Jeremy? Oh, this Elven Cavalier is awesome. It's a great class. I like duelists better, but duelists don't have missile weapons. This one has missile weapons. A very good mix of classes. They get damage bonuses with bows and long swords, hitting damage. It's all here. So just I made some tweaks to it, just like I always do. But this is a 1st edition class, and like I said, it's Dragon 114. So yeah, don't you find them to be a bit overpowered? No, you got to make some changes. You got to make some changes in the chart, which you can talk to me about, Michael. I made a couple changes here, tweaked them. I tweaked them so that they make more sense. Plus, their attack rate is, they don't get a lot of multiple attacks, so like they're 10th. Yeah, and when they're 10th level, they're nasty. But before 10th, they're not that nasty. I recommend the GREYHAWK Knighthood, written up by Sebrion. That's cool. Oh, look at that. All right, so he's got articles posted. Cool. So we got Knight Protectors. Here, let me see. All right, I'm gonna risk here. I'm gonna risk this. Did I close out too much on here? Yeah, I did. Give me a sec. This is what happens. I haven't crashed a stream like this in a long time either. I think it's because of a better machine.
Yeah.
He's nasty at 6th. Well, it could be. What's his strength, Michael? They shouldn't have a high strength. 17, 18/10. If you got him at 1875 strength and up, then that's probably what the problem is, right? So just let me know if I think that's the issue. Jay, I'm not sure if this has been asked, but do you treat paladins as subclass? Oh, you missed that, Greg. You weren't here. So we started off that paladins were a subclass of Cavalier when Dragon 72 came out, and that lasted for about 5 to 10 years. Then I realized I missed standard paladins, what a great class it was, and I allowed both. So they're both. You can do a fighter subclass or a paladin subclass. 95% of the paladins picked now are fighter subclass paladins. You can still do the Cavalier subclass paladins. Okay, most all the Winchesters from the 80s and early 90s are Paladin subclass Cavalier types. The Inquisitor and the Undead Hunter are subclasses of Paladin in the Fighter subclass. So 16 strength. That doesn't make... Thank you. Thank you. That doesn't make sense, Michael. They shouldn't be doing that much damage at 6th. It really should not be. I think they should be +4, +4 to hit, +3 damage. Primary, secondary should be 0 or +1 to hit, +1 damage. Secondary hand, unless they have super powerful weapons, and they should only be getting 6 attacks every 2 rounds. So 2d4, 2d4, just like a duelist. I need to take a look. So, all right, what was I doing? Shit. Cavaliers had an early version of level. Yeah, they do. They do. And so do Elven Cavaliers, too. I forget what I was doing. I answered too many questions.
Oh, but you're doing great.
Yeah. The damn horse is only good in the joust. Dale, isn't that a great place for it to be good?
Yeah, but there might not be that many jousting opportunities in the campaign, depending on. But yeah.
Michael, I think you may have tweaked something off. Are they fighting longsword dagger? I mean, elves don't get bonus in their secondary hand with dagger. It's not an elven weapon. They don't get an extra +1 there. So, risky something. You were looking for something. Risking something. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot what I was doing. We went sidetracked 1,000 ways. Yeah, I don't. My guess is, as Michael, is that you're maybe stacking the damage up too much. She only have +2 damage. Don't give them damage in their secondary hand. Remove that. No damage in their secondary hand at all. Bonus. Failed his. Yeah, I did. I failed my mind blank. I completely forgot what I was doing. Oh my God! All right, so let me just look through here. So let me bring up. Here, let's just. I got a bunch of Anna's, and it's been scrolling through, but I got a bunch of Anna's Great Heraldry. So that's my favorite. I love that shield.
Yeah, it's so cool. That was Brian Blomklotz's design, if I remember correctly.
I love that shield.
He designed and that's part. Now there's many different versions of the Knight Protectors, which I think is cool because they might have changed. I have it that they changed over the years. This is the one they had during their golden era, so to speak. They had it like they've fought, and then in the earlier ones they had a yellow one with a green dragon on it.
I have that one too.
I had. That was from the Prestige class. That one. That is from the design in 3rd edition 3.0 book when they had a Prestige class that was Knight Protectors, had that one, and so I had that. That was an early one they had, and then they.
Isn't that cool? That's an awesome looking one.
Right. Yeah, I love that design too. So it's great.
Let's go through some other Knight shields here that we have. Okay. So we have Knight Protectors and our Knight Protectors. It's during mid-era.
That's another one when they during the era when they started to fall down, when they had separated into Heronians and Hextorians. So they had a shield that was later on. This is the start of the decline. That's when they took this shield. So they had to kind of show they were not a united force anymore. They were two forces side by side. And then,
man, what are you asking? When you run games, how do you do it? The two of you, what are your rules and what do you think is important? Can you elaborate on that? I'm confused a little bit. Here's a Knights of Luna one. So, but I showed it anyway. Yeah.
I think that is a great question. And first, I want to simply say you need to. I see the rules as a key part of your tool set. Meaning, what kind of what's your play style and what rules? What do you want the job? Meaning, do you love deep, intricate combat, or do you want to have a bit more narrative?
Oh, now I
remember. Or are the rules really super important for you, or do you want something that plays faster and takes 20 minutes or God forbid.
We're gonna get a reverb. We may get a reverb here. I apologize. Now I remember what it was. Gary, cannon fire. Okay, I got it. That's what it was. Those articles. Let's go to Knight Protectors.
Yep.
All right. So, all right. So he's got a bunch of art. Sebrion got a bunch of articles here, right, going way back. Oh my gosh. So this is good. It's history, right? It's history. Okay, he's got. This looks like 3rd edition. This is 3rd edition. Yep. This is 3rd edition stuff. All right, good. So he's got 3rd edition prestige classes done here, and then let's see if we got Knights of the Holy Shielding. That's probably it's probably from that other article. Yeah. See, these are in the Cannon Fire website, everyone. So, whoops, wrong button there by me. Moved it over. All right, so we got some cool stuff here, and he's got the class features, which these look different than. These are definitely.
Yeah, Gary, we should. Yeah, Gary, we should do a series of articles on. Or we should write something up and do examples of the heraldry of. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're different. They're different articles. That's a different one than the Knight of the Holy Shielding in the in Dungeon Magazine. So very cool, very cool. Let's see what other Knighthoods we have. We have the Swiss Forest Knights Watch, mine there. Celine. Knights of the Watch.
Mm-hmm.
This one says Pelak.
Yeah. Because the Knights of the Watch, that's Pelak. Those are the knights that guard the city. So it's basically, it's like Bissell on top, but they are part of the Watch.
Oh, okay.
They are dedicated to Pelak. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Crit Wall.
That's the headquarters of the Knight of the Watch.
Oh, cool. I love this one.
Yeah, I did that for my campaign. It's the Mayaheen temple guards from Crit Wall.
Yeah, that's an awesome one.
So you have it's a bunch of you have the Mayaheen sword with the symbol, but the white is like a nod to Heronius and stuff, and also the shield lance, meaning they're in Crit Wall, they're under the shield land protection, and but they are Mayaheen in there. So it's like a Mayaheen is it's the sword striking through. So that's So I did that for my campaign.
Yeah, really cool. And then the last one of all is my own. There you go, and you've seen it 100 times, so 1,000 times.
I have the Belvoir's. It's the shield that Belvoir has for the crown. What's the?
Here's one more. Here's Cripwall, Palor Temple Guards.
Yes, exactly. Those are my Palor Temple guards.
Yeah, they're cool too.
Yeah, and you see, they're ancient, so they are not under. They are protecting the country, not they're not part of. They're not serving under the country. Yeah, that's a distinction, because the Pelorians have been there before the shield lands became shield lands.
Very cool.
So that's part of the shield and
and it will have heraldry and maps in the Luke publication too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely. So you're going to get some new stuff. So, all right. So, what do we have in closing here? So, look, we got through 2 hours almost. With everything.
Thank you, Gary. I can put the. Hang on a second.
A lot to just note. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. My way is not the right or wrong way. Anna's isn't the right or wrong way.
If everyone involved having fun, you're doing it right.
That's exactly
right. That's the basic rule. So 100%. There are more rules, but that's the basic rule. I'm putting a link to my website here, and I'm putting a link to my Patreon as well.
Excellent.
Yeah. These are the 2 sites where you can get stuff. I will have a full Notion site under development too, where you get tons of stuff. So, yeah.
So, any other questions, comments? I know, once again, this was like, I saw the arguing going on Cannon Fire. I just said, look, I'm just going to throw you my spin out there. That's it. One thing. You get one little tidbit from seeing someone else doing it, and you run with it, and that's all. That's it. One tidbit, And I got like I always am looking for things like weapon grand mastery was like one of the latest things I did, and that was 2 years ago, with a change, an addition, just because it was sounded cool, you know. So, yeah, and
Oh, thank you,
congrats on
Kern. Yep.
1,000 Patreon. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So that's fantastic. Yeah, all-time high. That's good. Very cool. All right, let's see what's going on this week and everything else. Anna, what do you got? What do you got planned? What's going on?
Well, first of all, since I just hit 1,000 Patreon members, so thank you everyone for being interested and want to support me sitting here mapping a place that only exists in our imagination. That's amazing. So thank you everybody for that. So I'm going to have June. What was it? Hang on a second here. I set it into June 11th, I think it was. Friday in a couple of weeks. I should have had, sorry, yeah.
100%, Gary. The main.
There we go. So, yeah. So Friday, the July 11th, instead of having a stream on Twitch, I will have a special get together. That will be on my Discord. There will be an invitation and stuff like that. So go to sign up. You can sign up for free on my Patreon. It doesn't cost anything. So you can just sign up your free tier and you can go in there and you read and you will get notified on where it is. And you can go to my Discord and do all of that stuff. So that way you will add to my, so it doesn't, I have a free tier on my Patreon, and that's basically like subscribing to my newsletter. It doesn't require you to pay anything. You don't have to give your credit card or anything like that, hopefully. So that should not be something that, at least that was Patreon did wasn't set up that way that you were required to it. And then if you want to in the future, you can give me a little bit of money every month. So help me do this. So I will have a Zoom get together where I have some new cool maps and hopefully there will be some new heraldry too.
Nice.
But I have the new a first batch of new GREYHAWK maps, the new generation GREYHAWK maps that will hopefully be ready by July 11th. And I have there's some really, really cool ones. One you can see in the background when you become a member, you can unlock that picture and you can see in the background. And now with my new big screen, I can have like wallpaper banners that are looking amazing. So I was blown away when I started rendering big sections of this. They look better than I thought they would. And now I just need to add trees and settlements and we're ready. So I have probably about 1 million or so square miles in the making. So I'm starting to get there. So the Shieldlands, Horn Society, and large part of the Bandit Kingdoms are under development. So that White Plume Mountain looks gorgeous. It's looking really, really good. And I'm also on the alpha test team for World Machine. And damn, there's some really, really, really cool stuff coming on that department too, which will please me enormous. Yeah,
oh, that's great.
So I was worried a couple of years ago that there wouldn't be much development. Now there's coming. That. Yeah, now there's new stuff coming that it's going to be change the ball game, and it's going to be so cool because this is something I can map local regions. Because now you can start using vector instead of height maps with precision down to centimeters. And you can do things like boulders, overhangs, caves, and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
And once we can hopefully scale that up the other way, so then I can start mapping things that are off this world, so to speak. You can start mapping other planes and do cool stuff that are that barely could dream of before. So there's a lot of really, really, really cool tools coming this way very soon. So thank you, Oddman. Yeah. The new set of GREYHAWK maps are fantastic. The precision is somewhere between 50 and 100 feet per pixel, which means that you don't see individual trees, but you will see villages, and you will see little creeks and stuff like that. And the terrain shield lands, in my opinion, started to look really, really
That's
cool.
awesome.
When once I can realize this is the shield lands, it's like seeing Rohan from Middle Earth, so to speak, and to start seeing it. So I'm like, yeah. Oh
Right.
yes, but the goal is to do the whole of Earth at this scale. Yeah, at this resolution. That's the goal. And to be honest, the hardest parts are the ones I'm doing now, because once I move outside of the Flannies, then there isn't much the detail. So if a river is 5 miles east or west, doesn't matter much. So that means that I can do it much quicker because I can let the fractals have their say. Now I need to go in and micromanage everything so it fits the previous maps and the stories perfectly. Once I'm off, and if I want to map the North Pole or something like that, that will be way easier because I can just run wild with it. And if something is a quarter mile here or there, or a few miles here and there, it doesn't matter. And then it's more like generic maps that are cool. So that is a lot easier than to do these hyper details that are in the GREYHAWK. The more details there are before when I start, the more difficult they are to do. So that's why I start with the most difficult parts. Yep.
All right, this week, Wednesday night, your favorite periodic articles for GREYHAWK. We'll just it could be Living GREYHAWK Journal, it could be an Earth Journal, it could be a Visions, it could be a dragon, a dungeon. So we're just going to go over, hey, this is cool. Look at the cool stuff in this article. Like I may do the one with Rick and Gary for near the very end, all those magic items. Yeah, what's that in 357? I may do that one. I'm probably going to show you the Orbs of Dragonkind article, that I love from Roger Moore. It's just we'll throw out some that we really like. Hey, look, check this out.
Yeah.
And that's what it'll be. So we'll go over them, and you guys can talk to us about yours as well. And that's Wednesday.
And Death Sadness, I put in a link to my Earth, what I've done on Earth so far. And I've done a version 1 and a version 2. And that is just concepts. Now I want to do version 3. That's real maps, so to speak. Yeah. So they will be much, much better. But I've tinkered with hot Earth, cold Earth, climate, precipitation, winds, sea currents, and stuff like that. So yeah.
So please, by the way, sit tight for the raid too. We're gonna raid in someone new.
And I'm working in GIS now, so things will be GIS. I have a geo package. The first version is out. A new version coming soon. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Thursday night, I have 2 of my players that are not going to be there. So we're going to do something a little different, and we're going to do this on the 3rd and the 17th. So I'm going to call it GREYHAWK Old School Academy.
Ooh.
All right. So what I'm doing is players that are really new, maybe the pace is a little slower. So like for example, Road Chicken, Sage and Eggs have played once each. So I'm going to have Walt, I'm going to have Tom, and I'm going to have 4. Courtney Coco is a veteran. Star's fairly new too, so we're going to have half the party's going to be really new players, and just get them to feel comfortable with old school 1E, 2E. And so we'll have 2 adventures. Part 1, there'll be distinctive parts, but part 1 will be the 3rd, and part 2 will be the 17th. So it's already cleared out, with the group. So we'll try this out. That'll be fun. Plus, Rogue Chick's boyfriend's the one that cheered 8,500 to try me to kill her last time. Who knows what's going to happen again? That's insane. So that is Thursday. And then, Saturday is Glutton for Punishment time. So, Balchan Speaking 24-hour stream starting at 10 a.m.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. Starting 10 a.m. and we just run till we're done.
And you do that on July 5th.
5th. 5th. Yes, 5th. Because that's the day that everyone, like Brett and Curtis and all, could do it. Mm-hmm. So July 5th, starting at 10 a.m., and we'll see how long that takes. At 10 a.m., Mark and Rachel from Marquee Gaming will be in the group. 2:30, Star and Rob Phantom and Jay will be in the group. 6 p.m., Darling Creep Show and Ed Greenwood will be in the group. Added in. So we'll be floating in characters in and out. So now I've done a 24. Now, unfortunately, it did not approve my Twitch front page thing. It don't matter. We'll still have a lot of people watching. It's all good. But we'll be running this until we're done, and we'll have a lot of different giveaways during the day from sponsors. So that is going to be on Saturday, and then next Sunday, I'll see how brain dead I am for Gabbin next Sunday. We'll worry about that later on in the week. So that's what's going on. Note, I'll go stuff as much as I can in July. Everyone's serious. Tim will finally DM a city state at the end of the month before I go out again in August for my last hip replacement. So the Knights of Ulick members and Fritz Winchester. Yes, that's it. There'll be a lot of Knights of Ulick on this adventure, and Fritz. So that's it. Yeah, Curtis, you're dead on that. All right, let's see who wins the giveaway. I have it for the following, and if you have them already, we're going to give the original folio and then your choice of Cult of the Reptile God or Dwellers of the Forbidden City. All right? Let's see who wins. And then please stay on. I'd love to go. I'm going to do Bella. Bella can't play this Thursday because she's going to be at a con, or she'd be in too. She's only played one time as well, and she has the Shadow Mage. She has the Shadow Mage Thief character. But we'll have, it'll be a blast. We're going to have a good time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, get in there. I think you spelled drawing wrong, Wu-Tang. Spell it correctly. I'll wait for you. Exclamation point drawing. There you go. There you go. Well, yeah, Fritz fits in perfectly. So, it'll be a fun one. All right. Here we go. You can tell I'm a little off here. Closing it out. Let's see who the winner is today. The winner is Death Ray in a good way. Congrats, dude.
And history professor, you just made it in. You were like 1 second before, so yeah.
All right, Death Ray in a good way. I got you, man.
Yeah, congratulations.
I know I probably have it, dude. Just re-put your name and address up in the Whisper in Twitch to make it easy for me, so I don't have to find it. All right, just put it up there up top, and I will send this stuff out. Do you want Cult of the Reptile God or Dwellers of the Forbidden City? Just let me know in that too if you want. Okay, I'll send it out to you, and let's raid into. We're gonna raid into Bella. That's just Bella's Deadly. She's played one time. She's gonna play again in August 2nd. She'll be playing again, her and Rogue Chick again. So we're trying to add new people into the community. So we're raiding to her because Darling's not on tonight. So Anna, thanks a lot. Fun show.
Oh, thank you. That was great.
It was a real fun time. Wrong button time coming. Maybe. See you all Wednesday night. Awesome. You came in at the end. You were in Kensington, weren't you, Christy Prof? Oh, good. She's playing Expedition 33, which is a really cool game. All right. It's not her. All right, we're going back. So she's not in. We're going to raid into someone else. It's not her. I don't know. Yeah, one sec. I got another raid in. Let me see who else is on.
Thank you, Jacko.
That was weird. Let me set the raid up. That was weird. Stream manager, raid. Yeah, that was strange. Who we got on? All right, I got it. We're going to D&D with T. Thanks, everyone. All righty. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday. Thanks. Oh, good. It's an affiliate anniversary, too.